guys agreed to it. That time Toney said, no, no touching gloves.
Touch after.
Toney's setting up some headshots here. He's touching to the body a little bit, then he's going to try to sneak up to the head. You can see it. Just did it a second ago with the left hook. Toney has quick enough hands to make that very effective. Toney will shorten his punches up when he's in close. He knows how to fight in a telephone booth. Look how he shortens those punches up. Sometimes you go up top with that left hook, real short, and then go right back downstairs. Right now, Toney's just touching his man, Bob, I believe, anyway. And then he's there, just touching him, and then he's looking to drill in something. Just create an opening. Touch him up high with a short left hook, just to get the arm to go up and then bring it downstairs. And while he's just touching him, he's keeping Garbey a little bit under control. See, Toney's looking to set up a big shot. Touch him with a short one and a soft one like that, and then go hard. Most guys would not be able to punch off the rope too much when they're in close. Toney can do it because he's real short with his punches. He doesn't need a lot of room, like that. Even though Toney's on the rope, he's the one effective right now doing the counter punching. Like the old Wilfredo Benitez, who was a great welterweight and junior welterweight champ. Used to counter off those ropes. Great.
Toney peppering Garbey to the body, 2 right hands up to the head. Kind of get the sense that James Toney has Ramon Garbey figured out.
Garbey will raise his left elbow, look for it. He'll raise his left elbow inside to try to get a little bit of room to punch. When he does that, Toney can score with the right hand to the body. Garbey has a habit of raising that left elbow to measure the guy. And right there, you can see Toney gets that right hand in when he does it. Right there, Garbey's raising that left elbow. Toney's going to get that right hand in.
James Toney, very effective off the ropes. Garbey looks to answer as the bell sounds to end round number 3. Too little, too late for Ramon Garbey. Well, James Toney is a highly decorated professional. As we've mentioned numerous times, former middleweight champion, former super middleweight champion of the world. 57 wins in his career. One of his losses, though, was to Roy Jones back in 1994. That's who he'd like to fight again. So why would Jones take a rematch with Toney?
Money. No opponents, get status. Because he didn't beat James Toney like he beat everybody else. He ran for me for 12 rounds. He didn't outbeat me. He didn't beat me like he beat Reggie Johnson or anybody else. He just fell out and just ran for me for 12 rounds. That's facts. So Roy can't go out and say he just dominated me, just blew me out like he did Reggie or anybody like that. Nobody does that to me. Nobody.
Well, Teddy, at this weight and with Toney's game sort of changing a little bit, would it be a competitive fight with Roy Jones?
Well, it depends on, obviously, on what weight. Toney, of course, Toney can fight. Toney knows how to fight. This guy, you know, a lot of people will say, take nothing away from Roy Jones Jr., but a lot of people say that Toney was dead at the weight in that fight. Now, even though he's a heavier weight than he should be, obviously, he's going to be a little stronger. He shows that he can handle this weight.
But he did say that he would come down to 175 to fight Jones. Can he get down to 175 and then not be dead at the weight?
Well, he used to make 160, 168. You would think that he'd be able to make 175 if he had enough time to do it and did it properly. But Roy Jones Jr. would always be a tough style. You know that old saying, styles make fight? Or that style will always be tough for Toney.
Good uppercut by Toney after a hook to the body.
But Toney's great when you're in front of him throwing punches. Look at what he does. He takes you apart. He makes you miss, and he comes right back. But when you use your legs on Toney, and you're not there in front of him, you box a little bit like Mr. Jones does. A little difficult.
Toney was not hurt there. He was just off balance. Toney threw 110 punches in the last round. Garbey threw 98. Toney doubled up Garbey, 34 connects to 17.
Watch how Toney sets things up there. Short punches, he knows he's in close. He sets up those short punches, and he moves his man around. He'll move to the side, create something. He looked at us, then he threw a punch.
Teddy, it's amazing how a guy that big, in such tight quarters, is able to get so much leverage on his punches and so accurate. Again, he looks at us and throws the look-away right hand.
Trying to set up his man like a quarterback, looking one way and throwing the other way. Take advantage of his opponent, going for that. Toney dips down low and then throws high. Toney knows what he's doing in there. They're all little subtle things.
Hey, it's almost like Toney loves it best when the two foreheads are resting against each other. It's like he can just pick any angle he wants.
Well, he's familiar in there. He's comfortable in there. Because he moves his head like that, he makes the guy miss, gets in good defensive position, and he's still the boss offensively. You see, one of the problems with Garbey is Garbey knows how to fight, but he can be lazy. He can be out-hustled. And that's what happened in his last fight against Seagal.
Says he was poorly conditioned. Didn't have use of his left hand for most of the fight. But poorly conditioned is probably the key to that whole scenario. Toney just picking his spots. With chopping right hands, left hands inside. James Toney is beating Garbey at Toney's fight.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
Of all the things you can get at the Ace Home Safe Home Sale, perhaps the best is peace of mind. Ace is a place where the helpful hardware folks.
You want to see some action?
Definitely.
The Gulf War is over. 3 soldiers want to go home.
Let's just stick to the plan. The plan is for the gold.
Rich.
We can help these people first, and then we'll be on our way.
I can't do nothing for you, man. You want $6 for what? I can't do nothing for you, man. You better, man.
George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, Ice Cube, 3 kings.
We 3 kings be stealing the gold.
Rated R. Now playing.
Well, James Toney knows how to set up punches. He knows exactly where to go to set something up. He goes up top, then he goes down. Then all of a sudden he moves to the side. Then he goes up top again. Makes you miss, makes you pay.
James Toney fighting tight inside, fighting very clean, and just hot-shotting Ramon Garbey in tight. Round number 5 underway in this scheduled 10-round cruiserweight bout. Earlier tonight, Edwin Santana fought to a 10-round draw in his bout against Francisco Cruz. Power punches in 4. You see Toney landed 33 of 51 power shots. Overall, he landed 42 punches. Teddy, in the last 2 rounds, Toney has landed 76 of 184 punches. Garbey has landed 27 of 172. So Toney has landed a lot more punches, nearly 50 more in the last 2 rounds alone.
Both these guys, sometimes if you look at them at their worst, they can be out-hustled sometimes. But Toney's been a guy who obviously has shown himself to be a tremendous pro. Garbey has not shown that.
There's that right hand by Toney. Again,
tonight, Garbey is the one who does not do as much as Toney. As I said earlier, Toney can do anything Garbey does, but he does it better. They're both very similar. They like to counter-punch. They're slick in there. But Toney, even though sometimes he's been accused of not being busy enough, he's the busier guy with these 2.
He's the better of the 2.
Yes, he is. More experienced as a pro, and more confident as a pro. He's been places Garbey doesn't know if he can go. That makes a big difference mentally. You have to believe you can do it.
Look at the punch numbers landed by round. It's getting better and better for James Toney with each round. Teddy, your scorecard? You have it 1 round even, 3 rounds for Toney. I have it 4-zip for Toney.
Look for Toney to be effective with that left hook inside. He sneaks that left hook off the body attack. All of a sudden, he sneaks up short left hook.
Left hand by Garbey.
But Garbey does not follow up on it. He's not going to get too many opportunities here. He has to take advantage of them, and when he has them, he's got to put punches together. but it's not his temperament. He's a little bit lazy. That's one of the... It kind of goes in connection with him being a cruiserweight. When he came over here as a light heavyweight. He did not have the discipline to keep his weight down. He doesn't have the discipline to throw the extra punches either.
Garbey landed a good left hand after a right bounced off the back of Toney's head.
Every once in a while, Toney will fall out. When he falls out, Garbey's able to be a little effective there.
The midway point of the fight, James Toney is controlling Ramon Garbey. Here's Andre and Max.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. We can question James Toney's recollection of the Roy Jones fight. We can't question too much else he's doing tonight, though, Max.
It's funny because conditions of this era don't favor Toney. He'd have been better fighting 100 years ago. Toney with 45-round fights. If you lose to a guy, you fight him again the next week. Toney has such subtle skill, such patience, good body puncher, solid chin. All his attributes don't favor a 12-round distance. It's not so much that he ever loses a fight. It's that he just, you know, doesn't have time to outlast the other guy.
All right, a quick programming reminder. Major League Baseball playoff action on Saturday. ESPN and ESPN2. Braves and Astros at 1 o'clock Eastern. Diamondbacks and Mets at the same time. And we want to send it back now to our main man in Taunton.
Every once in a while, Toney gets a little sloppy and falls straight out. That gives Garbey an opportunity to catch his man stepping straight out. But he should have taken more advantage of that. There should have been more punches there.
Well, there weren't enough, and James Toney has been a bit busier, but, man, has he been a lot accurate. Round 2, he landed 23 punches. Round 3, Toney landed 34 of 110. Round 4, he landed 42 of 74. And he lands another 38 more punches. Not all of them huge shots, but impressive enough.
Garbey has a little bit of a reach edge there, Bob. One thing, but it would take discipline. A lace is loose on the left glove of Garbey now, and also the tape is loose. I think the referee is going to stop this at some point when he recognizes that.
I think Flaherty does.
I was saying before, Garbey has a little reach advantage. He can pick off Toney before Toney gets close. Toney has to get a little closer to him to punch than Garbey has to be. Garbey should take advantage of that and start to pick up Toney on the outside a little bit.
James Toney with a little smile. This is easy for him, Teddy.
Well, he's relaxed in there. He just looked over at us, gave us a little wink there.
He's in total control. And he
can't get careless, though. Garbey's a good puncher. Even though he's a lazy guy, he knows how to fight. You can't get careless with a guy like that. Anyone who's had 400 amateur fights has been a 3-time world champion with top amateurs. You don't want to get careless. Garbey's a guy through his amateur travels. He beat 2 guys who are world champions now. He beat Juan Carlos Gomez 3 times in amateur. And Gomez now is the WBC undefeated cruiserweight champ. Of course, Garbey also beat Sven Ottke of Germany, who's currently the IBF super middleweight champ. And if that's not enough, Garbey also beat Chris Bird, one of the top-rated heavyweights around. All in the amateurs, though.
3 rounds.
And by the way, this is the pros. It's not 3 rounds. Hey, you know that saying? Anything you can do, I can do better? Well, that's what Toney says.
No headgear.
He might not, that's right. He might not have won any amateur titles, but he's won pro titles. And he's been tested. He knows what he can do. That means a lot. Sometimes a guy goes in there, he's not sure if he can do it. He tiptoes around. Toney's not tiptoeing right now. Toney has to be careful sometimes, Bob. He'll make moves a little bit too far away. And with the range of Garbey, when you make the moves a little too far away, the guy can time you sometimes.